Hello guys, I'm back. Sorry for the reasonably large break in between videos. As I said in a little bulletin post from through my YouTube channel, I did record a screencast and I basically bollocksed it up because Ubuntu Lucid by default, which annoys the crap out of me, it mutes all audio, which includes output and input. So I can immediately see and I immediately know that my output, my speaker, volume and stuff is all muted. So I can unmute that. I even have a little button in my on my keyboard to do that. But you have to excuse me, my sleeping pattern's been a bit weird and my brain's not all there. Okay, where was I? Yeah, the input, and such, isn't quite as obvious. So basically, when I recorded my last screencast attempt, the mic was muted, and I didn't realise that until I'd recorded it, spent however long rendering it, played the video back to test, and realised there's no sound here. I was fiddling around for ages and ages, and then I went to finally look at my microphone settings and realised my microphone was muted. So that was a big waste of time. Secondly, I want to, I've said this before, but I want to make an apology that for my update videos as well, the ones that are not actually going to be reviewing a software or program or doing a tutorial or whatever, you're still going to be staring at my desktop. As I've said before, my webcam isn't all that good. One of them doesn't really work with working Linux at all, which is, the better one, he says in quote marks. And the older one, a LabTech one, is a very, very, very shoddy one. It does work in Linux, but the frame rate is terrible, so it's not worth using. As you will see from about one video, maybe two, I think there was one in my old account as well, where I attempted to make videos, directly recording myself via webcam. When I can afford to, I will get a new, much better webcam that is Linux compatible. Speaking of that, that leads me on to next in the schedule of updates. I have finally kissed goodbye to Windows forever. I am a 100% Linux user now, an Ubuntu Linux user, because I'm fed up of drifting here, there, and every effing where to, try and decide what I really want to use, and I always end up coming back to Ubuntu. I love Ubuntu, especially since Lucid. It's not perfect, no OS is, but compared to Windows, even compared to Windows 7, which I believe to be the best Microsoft Windows release, it's just incomparable to me. I can get most of my games running now with a combination of Cedar and Play on Linux, which is a front end for Wine. I will be showing you both of them, in like separate videos. That leads me on to my last part, which is going to be a little rant about OpenSUSE or SUSE or whatever, however the hell you want to pronounce it. I recently gave that another try. I installed version 11.3 as my primary operating system on here. I hate it. I cannot stand OpenSUSE. I'm sorry, but I cannot stand it. It seemed a little buggy for me. It wasn't working 100%, right, or how I'd expect it to. Things are all over the place. I mean, the thing with Ubuntu, right, is you've got one huge, massive repository with practically every software in there you could imagine. Then you have the option to add additional PPAs if you want, which, for the most part, other than quite possibly GNOME Global Menu, in my case, otherwise everything is just, if you want the latest and greatest versions that might not be distributed through the Ubuntu main repository. Otherwise everything's all in one repository. But with SUSE, I've found this, if you want to install, you do a search for Record My Desktop, for example, which I'm using to record this now, you'll get nothing. You do a search for VLC, you'll get nothing. You do a search for this, that and the other, you'll get absolutely nothing. It's probably full of useless trash that you won't want to be using, but when you start searching for anything, remotely usable, something that you might actually want, it's not there. So what you have to do, you have to search for their package on their website, search for the package on the website. It will show you extra repositories, one out of about 50 or whatever, that's an exaggeration, but you get what I mean. It will show you a ton of repositories which contain the package or, something for a similar title. So then you can click install and whatever, and yeah, you can install the package or whatever. It adds a new repository, and before you know it, when you've actually installed every single software that you'd want, you've got about 1 million